Hi, I'm Dave Karger. Welcome to TCM and this week's edition of Musical Matinee. If you were with me last Saturday, we presented the 1956 musical The Opposite Sex, which was a musical remake of the 1939 comedy The Women. Today we're showing another musical remake from 1956, and this one was also based on a non-musical comedy from 1939. From RKO, starring Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher, it's Bundle of Joy. Reynolds plays a sales clerk in a big New York City department store, but as the movie begins, she gets fired from her job. On her way home, she accidentally discovers an abandoned baby, and through a series of misunderstandings, everyone comes to believe that she's the baby's mother. Fisher plays the son of her old boss, the owner of the department store. Bundle of Joy was a remake of the 1939 comedy Bachelor Mother, which starred Ginger Rogers and David Niven. Despite Rogers' talents as a musical star, Bachelor Mother was not a musical, but music was added for this 1956 remake. The film was designed as a vehicle for the hottest celebrity couple of the era, Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher. They married in 1955 and made headlines as America's Sweethearts, and Bundle of Joy was an attempt to capitalize on their popularity. Reynolds was an established movie star by this point, but Eddie Fisher had never acted in a film before. Since he was a big singing sensation, several musical numbers were added to the story to showcase his vocal talents. In reality, Reynolds and Fisher were actually expecting their own Bundle of Joy during production, and their daughter, future actress Carrie Fisher, was born less than 2 months before the movie premiered, which only drummed up even more publicity. From 1956, directed by Norman Taurog, also with Adolphe Menjou, here is Bundle of Joy. RKO had high hopes that Bundle of Joy would be a big hit, given the popularity of its stars, Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher. But despite their status as America's favorite celebrity couple, the movie was a disappointment when it premiered, and many critics singled out Eddie Fisher for his limited acting skills. Fisher and Reynolds were hailed by the media as America's sweethearts and the picture-perfect married couple, but in reality, things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Reynolds later recalled that during production on Bundle of Joy, Fisher was very insecure because this was his first time making a movie. His anxiety led to many heated arguments when the camera stopped rolling, and Reynolds said that the experience served as, quote, a good argument against spouses spending all their time with each other. They remained married for another 3 years through the births of their 2 children, Carrie and Todd Fisher, but their marriage ended in 1959 in the biggest scandal of the decade, when Fisher left Reynolds to marry his best friend's widow, Elizabeth Taylor. He acted in just one more movie after this, Butterfield 8 from 1960, starring his new wife, Elizabeth Taylor. Up next is a short documentary about another musical star, Paul Robeson, from 1979, narrated by Sidney Poitier.
Next on TCM, Paul Robeson, tribute to an artist. Then, The Wind and the Lion. And later, Gandhi. TCM is disobedient today.